Today, taking a lift is part of most people's daily routine. At the touch of a button, we're transported up several floors in seconds. But the experience is set to change radically. This is the lift of the future. With no cables, it can travel vertically and horizontally. The technology is being tested in this tower in the German countryside. An unprecedented project run by lift manufacturers and engineers.
This isn't a small step, it's a complete revolution. The system is completely different, nothing like traditional cable lifts. Transporting people is the only thing they have in common.
The lift cabin moves around using electromagnetic suspension technology, travelling in different directions using magnetized coils, which makes it easier to move around a large building quickly. And in big cities, architects are building upwards, with skyscrapers reaching up to 800 meters. The problem, traditional lifts weighed down by their cables can't travel higher than 400 meters, meaning several lift shafts and cabins are needed to reach the top. But with new cableless lift technology, this German manufacturer says the sky's the limit.
We know that in 15 years' time, there'll be nearly 2 billion more people on Earth. Our cities will have more and more people living in them. We need to build upwards. We need to find a solution.
When one lift cabin blocks another, it can move left or right out of the way, like trains in a metro, which arrive at the request of users.
You can choose the floor using your phone. The lift can also automatically know where you're going, because you get off at the 70th floor every day. And on the way, the lift will take people who want to go to the same place. As there are several cabins, we can create new ways to get around.
Engineers are adding the final touches before the new lift is put on the market. And there's no time to waste. A developer is planning to install a cableless lift in a tower in Berlin in 2021.
And I'm now joined on set by our in-house expert, Dhananjay Khatalkar. And believe it or not, we are going to keep on talking about elevators, but this time the elevator is going to take us into space.
That's right. The space elevator concept, you'll be surprised. It's not a really new idea because, in fact, it was in 1895 that the father of rocketry, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, he imagined the Eiffel Tower to stretch into space, and then it goes on, and finally it gets attached to a celestial castle in a geosynchronous orbit. Now, space elevator concept is somewhat parallel to it, and that celestial castle can be imagined to be a space station in a geosynchronous orbit, which is around 35,000 kilometers from Earth. As you can see in the images, there's a tether. So this space station gets tethered to a point on our planet on the equator. Right. And at the other end of this tether is another anchor. So it remains taut. And then an elevator, it zips up and down this cable. It will be powered by laser. You can transport people, you can transport cargo at a fraction of a price, say by using a space shuttle or even the rockets that are used currently. But of course, there are multiple challenges, and the biggest challenge is to develop materials to make this cable, because it has to withstand the atmospheric conditions of our planet and the gravity forces, not just of the Earth, but of the sun and the moon as well.